You are not going to want to miss these PrizePicks player props if you like money. So we're going to go through some PrizePicks player props in this video. But as a recap, we did really well on Saturday. I mean, everything hitting 500, 250 entry, 250, a ton of entries hit until yesterday. This Jason Alexander guy unfortunately couldn't come through on Sunday for over 2.5 strikeouts. We had him in a few different entries. The pick was really good, but they pulled him out 4 innings deep. So unfortunately, he was stuck at 2.5. So let's get into it. Let's go through how to use OddsJam, the betting tools on OddsJam, to find the best player props on PrizePicks. So again, what the OddsJam tool will show you is profitable bets, right? So on sportsbooks, on DFS platforms, whatever, it will show you profitable bets. Like for example, we can see in the Diamondbacks-Reds game, we can get Brandon Drury over 1.5 bases plus 135 on FanDuel, right? That's on the top row. 5.5% profit margin. This is the profit margin column. And if we click into this game and we take a look at the odds, you can see, yeah, FanDuel is a true pricing discrepancy, right? No other sportsbook is giving us better than plus 108, and we can get this plus 135 on FanDuel. So that would be an example of a profitable, mathematically profitable bet with edge, a 5.5% edge or profit margin that maybe we want to lock in as a sports bettor. But anyways, we're talking about PrizePicks in this video. So let's get to PrizePicks. So I use a variety of the tools on OddsJam to kind of find line discrepancies on PrizePicks and figure out mathematically where's the value, right? And the first one I noticed is Taylor Hearn, over 3.5 versus over 4.5 strikeouts. So if we go here, you can see it right here, right? This is a close to, what a low hold is it's essentially a near arbitrage bet between two sports books. And we can see right here, Taylor Hearn, over 3.5, under 3.5 is a low hold between PrizePicks and FanDuel. So if we click into the market, what we'll see is all of the sports books, much sharper, more efficient betting markets, are setting the line for Taylor Hearn strikeouts at 4.5. PrizePicks is setting the line at 3.5. So again, the way that PrizePicks works is any two picks you select, you're going to be getting $100 to win $300, but that's not to win $300 profit. That's to win $300 total, including your $100 stake. So it's $100 to win $200 of profit. So it's just plus 200 odds. It doesn't matter if we switch around the picks. 100 to win $200 of profit. Overs, unders, your payout will never change. So what this means on PrizePicks is it's critical to compare PrizePicks to these sportsbooks, right? And the reason for that is sportsbooks price things completely differently, right? They will vary your payout depending on if you select the over or the under. For Tatum, we're getting minus 154 on Pinnacle Sportsbook, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, if we take his over in rebounds. We have to bet $154 to win $100 in profit. On the other hand, for the under, it's plus 115. Right? You're getting plus money. So because all the sports books have the over heavily juiced, all of the action they're seeing in the market, all of their models are pricing that Tatum is more likely to get over 6.5 rebounds than under 6.5 rebounds, right? Tatum over 6.5 rebounds has a win probability above 50%. So you can use the tools on OddsJam pretty easily. PrizePicks is pretty easy to make money off of just due to the crazy fact that they don't vary payouts depending on if you select the overs or the unders. They don't vary payouts depending on the two picks you select. It's pretty wild. So essentially the math behind PrizePicks is because you're getting plus 200 odds on any two player props, you have to win all of your player props in a two-pick entry 57.74% of the time to be profitable over the course of the long run on PrizePicks. And that's because if you're winning your props 57.74% of the time, then you'll be winning two of your props in a two-pick entry 0.574 0.5774 squared 1/3 of the time, right? And if you're winning 1/3 of 2-pick entries at plus 200 odds, you're going to break even. You lose 100, you lose 100, you win 200, right? If you're winning more than 1 out of 3, 33.33% of your PrizePicks 2-pick entries, then you are going to be profitable. So essentially what we want to do is use the tools on OddsJam, which are incredibly valuable for finding player props on PrizePicks that have an implied win probability above 57.74%. So the first one we're alerted to is Taylor Hearn over under 3.5 strikeouts on the low holds page, right? So then we click into this and we're like, wow, every sportsbook is setting Hearn at over under 4.5 strikeouts, right? These are much sharper, more efficient betting markets, especially Pinnacle, which is the sharpest sportsbook in the world, right? They're setting the line at 4.5 strikeouts, and we can get Hearn over 3.5, okay? So this is a line discrepancy, a big line discrepancy. The difference between 3.5 and 4.5 in terms of strikeouts is massive, right? And same with the difference between 4.5 and 5.5. It's not like 218 to 219 in an NBA point total. These are massive jumps. Like you can see FanDuel for over 4.5 strikeouts for Taylor Hearn is giving you plus 142. For over 5.5, because the jump is so big, they're giving you plus 300, right? So that's a massive difference in odds. So what we can do is we can analyze this pick, right? Which seems pretty dang good on PrizePicks. Taylor Hearn over 3.5 strikeouts, right? So essentially, FanDuel actually, they're setting the line for Taylor Hearn over 4.5 strikeouts. They're giving you the best odds. So in terms of sports books, FanDuel's actually most bullish or most aggressive on the price they're giving you on the over, which means FanDuel thinks the under is more likely to hit than the other sports books, right? And we're going with the over here, right? You can see this is the line discrepancy. FanDuel's giving you minus 168, whereas on PrizePicks, it's the implied price of minus 137. So Pinnacle, right, they have the over much more favored. They're only giving you plus 115 for Hearn over 4.5 strikeouts. FanDuel is giving you plus 142. So the sharpest sportsbook thinks the over is more favored, and that's what looks already good on PrizePicks, right? FanDuel is pricing this at minus 168, plus 132. So if we go ahead and put that into a no vig fair odds calculator, the most important calculator on OddsJam, we can see that FanDuel's model is pricing the over to be hitting 59.26% of the time based on their market, right? Based on their market. You remove the juice, remove the spread, the vig, whatever you want to call it, from the sportsbook's market, and you see they're implying that Taylor Hearn over 3.5 strikeouts is 59.26% to hit. And you can assume Pinnacle would be implying a higher price because they're giving you way worse odds on Hearn over 4.5 strikeouts. So Pinnacle is probably like 61, 62%. So this PrizePicks on player prop, this player prop on PrizePicks is very good. We only had to beat 57.74% to break even, right? And this has a win probability of 59.26%. And because FanDuel is giving you, the best odds on the over 4.5, that means that Pinnacle would actually think this over is more likely, right? 61, 62, whatever, something like that. So this is an incredible, incredible player prop that you definitely want to lock in on PrizePicks. And again, we're finding it just using the tools on OddsJam and comparing the lines on sportsbooks, more efficient, sharper betting markets to that on PrizePicks. This platform that doesn't even vary your payout depending on if you select the over or the under, right? PrizePicks is giving you the same price, whereas FanDuel is pricing this minus 168 plus 132, right, for the under. So massive differences on the sports books. PrizePicks, it doesn't even matter, right? So this is the first pick you definitely want to include in your PrizePicks entry for today. So let's go to my boy Taylor Hearn over 3.5 strikeouts. Easy money pick. You got to go with it. So the second pick we're going to go with, we went through yesterday, so I won't spend as much time on it, but is Derek White over 2 rebounds, right? So again, bet online. No market from Pinnacle, but bet online, a very sharp sports book. They're pricing this at minus 130 on the over 2.5. In the same way, jumps for player strikeouts are big. When the distribution is centered around 2.5 strikeouts, the difference between 2 and 2.5 is massive. Massive, 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 right? This is a massive jump from 1.5 to 2 and from 2 to 2.5 in terms of the odds, right? You can see FanDuel in their alternate player prop markets, they're giving you minus 320 on White over 1.5 rebounds. They're giving you minus 114 on over 2.5, right? So this is a massive jump. So what we can do is we can essentially, which we did yesterday, figure out based on, the win probabilities for over 1.5 and over 2.5%. So minus 320 plus 225 is what we went through yesterday. The win probability for White over 1.5 rebounds is estimated to be 71.23%, and we can do that for over 2.5 too. So we can see White over 2 should be priced with a 62.145% win probability. So all we're doing, because that considers the push, right? So essentially you're just finding out the win probability for over 1.5, under 1.5, right? Taking the no vig market, minus 320 plus 225, 71.23%. Then doing the same thing for over under 2.5, and the over should be favored. And then you're putting that, you're taking an average, right, of that, right? You're taking an average of the over 1.5 and the over 2.5 to figure out what should the fair win probability be for White over 2, which would include a push. And it's 62.145%. So that means this player prop on PrizePicks beats the 57.74% and is absolutely ridiculous, and we want to roll with it. So I have 2 overs, 1 MLB player prop, 1 NBA player prop, Taylor Hearn, Derek White, taking both of my boys over, and this will be my second player prop entry right now with Derek White over 2 rebounds. I had Mackenzie McDonald under 23 games. It looks like this is going on right now. So pretty exciting stuff. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully we don't have another Jason Alexander day where this guy ruins our hopes and dreams. And thanks so much for your time.